Hello, everyone. My name is Juan. I'm also known as Quiet Gecko, and welcome to this, the first time that we are doing like an official collaboration between Tan Grande y Jugando and A Shell in the Pit for preparing for the Woman Game Jam. So we are really excited, and like it is weird because it's also the first time that we do one of these talks, but in English. But I think it's a great opportunity to bring us together as like people from all around the world and yeah, talk about sound that is so amazing. So for today we have like the second part of a talk, or not the second part, but we're doing the same talk again, but it's kind of different. We did this same encounter with Millie, talking about sound for Pacific Drive, the sound she designed for Pacific Drive. We did it in Spanish last week, but we wanted to do a version in English so people could practice English, and we could also invite our friends that are around there. Here is Snarkism and Emaudible. They are our teammates, so it's very exciting to like have them here. So without further things to say, I will say hello to Millie. Hi, Millie.
Hi, Juan. It's so weird to be speaking to you in English and
Yes.
doing this again in English, but it's gonna be fun and weird, like our sound.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Millie. I'm a sound designer at a Shell in a Pit. I'm also an audio director, and I worked on the sound of Pacific Drive. Um, Juan, you wanted to say something before I continue?
No, just that everyone feel free to ask anything in English or Spanish, and we will answer anything. And yeah, thanks for being here. Here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't like mind interrupting. We can have a chat whenever. So last week I was talking about Pacific Drive, and I realized some people hadn't seen the trailer of the game, so I'm gonna show you the trailer of the game first. Um, Pacific Drive is a survival game. It takes place in the Pacific Northwest, and the setting is supposed to be a fictional Washington state. And you drive around a station wagon in first person, and you can also get out of the car and explore. And towards the end of the game, which is where all the weird stuff, more of the weird stuff happens, you encounter hazards and creatures and weird ambiances and weather things that happen. And just a disclaimer, most of the things that I will show you happen towards the end of the game, so yeah. You can like not watch and listen, I guess. Let's watch the trailer.
Locations impacted include sectors Delta. Field Research Training Module 1. While conducting your field research out in the Olympic exclusion zone, you may find conditions unkind to your personal transport unit. Steel and rubber in particular are extremely susceptible to zone conditions. In your toolkit, you have access to the basic equipment you need to maintain your transport. When out on the field, make sure to utilize all appropriate safety gear and equipment. ARDA does not condone petty theft. However, should you find yourself in a life-threatening situation, you may at times borrow from your surroundings. encounter unusual phenomena out in the wilderness, remember the 3 safety steps. Number 1. Observe only at a careful distance. Approach only at your own risk. Number 2. Do not attempt to contain or interact with the phenomena. Should you do so, immediately report your findings and follow appropriate decontamination procedures upon your return from the field. And number 3. Leave them where you found them. Above all, do not forget the most important critical rule. Do not get caught out in the instability. We remind you that ARDA is not liable for any entropic reconstitution that occurs to you or your loved ones should you interact with the instability. All ARDA personnel are expected to follow strict protocol. Remember, personal methods of creative expression are highly encouraged so long as it does not interfere with official equipment. ARDA is not liable for any injuries or death suffered as a result. That's it for today's training. Happy trails and good luck.
Stop. All right. So I've been asked this question before, and it's what was my sound approach for Pacific Drive, and it's almost always the same for every game that I work on that is going to require a lot of time to do the sound design. And I just take every asset as if it was a sound piece on its own that focuses on the human experience. So sensory, emotional, and embodied. If I can hit those 3 marks when I'm designing, I feel pretty good that it's going to be taken pretty well by the players. Yeah, I really focus on the human experience. I also like to evoke memories, so sometimes I put in references to some older movies. I have a session to show you with that. Textures, just things that can make you remember your senses, generate an emotion, and that emotion can finally generate like some sort of embodied experience, embodied reaction. And then comes the creative process. Well, the first thing that happens is I talk to the audio directors and they tell me what's their vision for the game in terms of sound. And for Pacific Drive, the audio direction was make it sound, at least for the stuff that I had to design, it was make it sound otherworldly, organic, and haunting. So when I know that I have to design that, I start thinking what plugins I'm going to use, what libraries I'm going to use. Because we have so many plugins, well, at least I have so many plugins, I like, hold on, I need to see my screen. Yeah, I like to choose very limited amount of plugins. So for Pacific Drive, you'll see I chose like one reverb, one weird plugin that does weird reverb and pitch shifting, and an EQ, same one always, and some other delay plugin. And for libraries, I focused a lot on field recording first, because I have this way of doing sound design where if I feel like if I start recording or creating playlists from sound libraries, I kind of start to become the sound designer for the specific project, and things begin to happen, kind of like method actors, become the character they're gonna impersonate in a movie. They start to dress like them. They start to talk like them. I don't know, eat like them, sleep like them. So I don't go that extreme, but I kind of compare it to method acting because once I'm open to anything that sounds in my environment, I start to listen to things differently, and everything becomes an opportunity. So synchronicities start to happen, and it happened to me while I was doing Pacific Drive that I had to go to my house in the jungle, and I was super excited because it's basically a playground for sound designers. And I spent like 4 days recording all day, a bunch of sounds for Pacific Drive. Oh, whoops. So basically, I'm just like recording a bunch of layers that I'll need based on some videos that I saw of the game. And I just did this with different microphones, with different surfaces. I dragged it through this surface that has plants. Then I dragged it through dirt, through rocks, and I got a lot of layers. And then I would like switch the microphone and there's a bunch of other sounds that I recorded. So if you have any questions or want to say anything, I'm gonna start sharing the sessions.
Okay.
Okay, so sessions.
So we have 10 people seeing us right now.
Okay. Hi,
Hello.
10 people. Share screen. Open Reaper. Okay.
10 people watching something audio related is a lot of people.
It is. So on the synchronicities that I was talking about, not all of them are good things. Sometimes they're bad things, but you have to use them as opportunities. And when I was starting on Pacific Drive, especially on like the anomalies, there are these creatures that they were on the trailer. They like turn on with a greenish yellow light and they jump on you. They jump on the car. I got COVID and I lost my voice. And when my voice was returning, it sounded really creepy. So I started with recording my voice, and this is how it sounded. And and that was basically the main layer for these guys. Okay, they're not doing anything here. And basically it was just recording my voice and then adding black hole, and which is this reverb right here, which makes, to me, this reverb makes everything sound like it comes from another world or another dimension, dreamy, ethereal, whatever you want to call it, but it's really cool.
Like
So when
it's
you add
coming
it,
from a black hole.
like it's coming from a black hole. And then after I had the main layer, which was my voice, sounding really creepy. I need to move this. So this is my voice with black hole, and then I also added a tremolo to make it move, like to make it sound like it's moving in circles, kind of like going like that. And then I started working on the feeling of what the body felt like, but at first I had it way too small and thin. Just sounds like a bicycle, but then I started to make it heavier. But then that wasn't enough because I needed something like more menacing, so I added this layer right here. And it's like a vocal, like very dark. And those are the bunnies in Pacific Drive. There's ones that can harm you, and there's ones that can heal you. There's electric ones, and yeah, healing ones, electric ones, and these ones, which I guess are the standard bunnies. Thanks, Sam. Oh yeah, and then after that, I rendered out my voice, and then I rendered out the body of the creature, and then I put it here. And because I didn't want to hear my voice so loud all the time because it becomes annoying, I just like side chained it so that when you play the body, the voice ducks. And those are the bunnies. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anything?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. There will be. There will be.
Hundreds.
Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on to what I. Hey. This, you know,
I really like how the like the spikes hitting the ground. Like it really feels like something very sharp and heavy.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, they kind of had to feel like that because they were also gonna hit the car, and the car is like metal. So
yeah.
I just like thought about materials, and dark voices.
Yeah. M says that the raw recording was horrible.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when you get COVID. It's horrible, but it's an opportunity. I just don't want to have it again. I don't need more source libraries of my voice, of my sick voice. These are the ones that I was talking about that I also like to evoke memories, and this one, I kind of, these ones reminded me of the creatures in Arrival, so I kind of tried to make them sound like the creatures in Arrival. And it was a pretty simple sound design in terms of if you know what source you need. It's just two animals and reverb. I use camels. I'm gonna turn off the plugin so you can hear the original sound. Hold on here. And they're already like really creepy on their own. So if you add black hole, and then if you add, I think that's all. I think I added a bunch of black hole. Yeah, oh, black hole and the orb, which is like the magic reverb to make anything sound like it's talking to you. It's not actually, it's not a reverb, it's like, I don't know, a formant effect. It just creates vowels on anything. So even if you like throw it into, I don't know, water, it will sound like the water is talking to you. So this is with, and then once I had those, I added horses because for me horses sound super creepy. And again, this is without the reverb, just a regular horse. Very regular horse, your everyday horse. And this one, yeah, as well. But then when you add reverb and you do a trick M showed me, which is you just play it back slower. It sounds like that, and then if you add all the layers that are played back at a lower playback rate, so then when you add the horse and the camel together with with the orb and black hole, you have these guys. Oops.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Horses sound like they are like in pain.
I know,
Yeah,
all the
like
time.
very creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Really creepy horses. In general, like if you listen to a horse at a distance, I feel like they're super creepy. I wouldn't want to run into a horse. Like,
They are huge.
yeah, yeah, they are.
There's a question.
Okay.
M says, "I love how all your layers are organic. Was this your approach for Pacific Drive specifically, or do you do that most often?"
I think it depends on what the audio director asks me, and in this case, you asked me for kind of organic sounds. I do always add some organic stuff to some layers that are not organic. I did that to the electricity. But yeah, I think organic sounds better than all synth stuff. Yeah, overall, I do prefer it. That's why I do like all the field recording stuff.
Cool. The hippie approach.
The hippie approach, yes. The hobbit approach. So this is the radiation, and someone was asking about radiation, I think at GDC. And well, I want to show you what I did because I guess they want to see too. For radiation, and this kind of answers what M just asked. I didn't like it to be just like electrical synth sound, so I added something to make it more mysterious, which is a voice. It's a female vocal. Because then you kind of want to explore, but you're not sure if you should. And this is the one plugin that I use to make it sound weird. This one right here. And I can't use it all the time. I really love this plugin, but I can't use it all the time. So this was my opportunity to actually see it in action. And it does like pitch shifting and granular synthesis and reverb at the same time. So when you play it and you start adding the other layers, I'm moving my video. This is something that I played in Reactor. So it's not from a library, it's played in Reactor. And this is more Reactor. And then another Reactor loop. And this one is my computer cables under my desk that I recorded with a lone microphone, which records electromagnetic fields. And it has it's running through black hole and this delay, which does really crazy stuff. It just makes it a little bit more crazy.
It just make
And
it a little bit more crazy.
it just makes it a little bit more weird. And then and then if you see, if I mute the vocal, I think it doesn't have the effect I was looking for. Like I think it sounds cool, but this makes it better, and it makes it feel like it's actually rising and moving also. So
It's coming for you. Coming for you.
coming for you.
How do you get to those plugins like Silo or Silo and the
um,
Spec Ops? Like how you get your hands into those plugins?
you buy them at
No, not how you get them, but like how
hard.
you discover them. Yeah, like how a sound designer gets to know a different array of plugins because like
Oh,
yeah,
you just spend some time playing with them. I mean, I really like checking out plugins that transform the sound. So I usually buy them like when, and then I just play around with them, and then I think, okay, maybe I'll just remember that this plugin does this thing, and someday I'll get to use it. Because yeah, it's very weird. I can't use it on anything that's not, you know, radiation, otherworldly stuff. But I really like those plugins. Like those are the ones that I buy just for fun. Oh, this is the one you like, Juan. The mud one.
the, the what? Ah, the mod.
The,
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna close some sessions because this is gonna.
I remember the first time I found like hidden camels in BFS library, and I used those camels for like everything that needed low end. I would just get like a piece of camel.
Okay, bye. Oh, okay, so back to what I was recording when I went to the house in the jungle was mud. And even if I wasn't doing Pacific Drive and I encountered mud, I would record it because I really like how it sounds. So these spiky bushes that can pinch your tire in the bottom of your car. These ones in the center. Um, those are all just mud and some hidden um, kind of squishy farts for fun. So these are the mud sounds, my footsteps without any plugins. And I cut them very close together so they could sync to the visuals. And then I just added basically an EQ. Hold on. An EQ. And then one of the layers has the black hole. It's not this one. These are just more footsteps. This is the same one, the same puddle, but this one has the orb. So it kind of sounds like it's talking. And then this is from a library. And these are more of the same puddles I had. But it has fog controller, which is like a IR reverb. It's not installed on this computer, so I can't show it to you. And these funny sounds, because I just wanted to have fun. And then all together you get and all of these are the variations of the same sound, because sometimes you can have many of these close together and you need variations to avoid any phasing issues, and because you don't want to just repeat the same sound because it'll get boring.
I feel I feel like the farts sound like funny by themselves, but with the other layers, it sounds like it's like a creature trying to stay alive. Like I don't know, like something very creepy. It's like being like.
It makes it feel more alive. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you saw the movie Labyrinth, the one with David Bowie.
I don't remember
It's a very
seeing that
old
one.
movie. But then I think it was in that, in that movie there's this creature and you have to go through like this lake of mud, but it has rocks, and this creature can call the rocks. And so the creature calls the rocks, and when you step on the rocks, it sounds like farts and mud. So I think I got it from there.
Okay,
Unconsciously, I think I got it from there.
it's a good one.
These are also made with my voice and massive instead of reactor, because I think reactor wasn't working for me that day, and I just went with massive. And this is what we're looking at. And it's just my voice with black hole. Swooping. And then the playback rate is slower. and then something from a library for the movement, and then uh, these other 4 layers are just things that I played in Massive that I thought would blend well with the visuals. This is for the shiny stuff at the bottom.
This is a hazard, right? This is bad
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. This is bad for you.
Yeah, I like how aggressive it sounds, but it's like a little bit magical, but it
Uh-huh.
sounds like it's powerful, magical but powerful.
Yeah.
I was going to say something I forgot.
That's the acid. Swarmer. It's a hazard.
Oh, I remember the sound that you took from a library, neon movement. I think.
Uh-huh. This one?
Yeah, like when you're looking for something like that, what do you look in a library? What do you search for? Like scenes?
Well, because I knew I was gonna use Boom Library, and I know they have the neon library. When I see
Okay.
shiny stuff, I just start looking in there, and
Okay.
yeah, I probably typed in the library, in the neon library. I probably typed in movement
Okay.
or something, and then I just like went and looked for which one fit what I was doing.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Ha 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 ha. Apoyo. Follow the shiny. Ajá, apoyo.
apoyo. Okay, this is another one of the synchronicities I was talking about. So, because I was again with in the jungle, and well, when you're in the jungle, you need a machete. So, why not? Why not record it? And I hope you can hear it. And I don't have the full all the session for this one. I just have the assets, the final assets. But maybe you can hear it. Just so there's these spears that come off the ground, and when they go back into the ground, I put the sound of the knife that I dragged, and then I recorded. There was like a landslide before I went to that house, and there were like mountains of rocks and dirt. So I just like dragged my foot, and just like I would push them down, and I would record how they fall. So it's a layer of the knife and the rocks and the dirt falling.
We have a question. What do you
Yay.
think? What do you think about to make the variations of each sound? Like what options are there?
Uh, well, when you make variations, I don't know if I'm understanding the question, but you have a bunch of layers, right? And since you record a lot of source material, so they don't sound the same, as long as you change one of the layers or two of them, it is gonna start sounding different. So what I do is just like change one of the layers. See here, like this one. This one I changed the order, so I just like move them around. And then that
Yeah,
will make Is that what they're asking me?
I think so. What do you think? I think is the order of the things that is also something very important. What you just said. Like sometimes even if it's the same sound, but it just plays in a different
Order,
order.
yes. If you
Yeah.
move it around, like if I move this one here, it's gonna be a variation. Especially like if I move the ones that are like the loudest ones. Yeah, yeah. So for this one, the variations were because I had so many recordings of the knife dragging, I would just like change the knife dragging and it would sound different. And also the rocks moving. Uh, Leech Electric. I mean, Bunny Electric. So these are the same as the ones that I showed you where I lost my voice. So here's my scream, but these are electric. So I use the same loop of my voice. I use the same heavy, oops, the same heavy metal sounds from the other ones. I changed I just like moved them around so they wouldn't sound the same as the other one. And like in the order and the placement. And then I just added a very strong fire synthy sound, like heavy. The other one had this heavy vocal, so for me, this was gonna be the heavy. And then something lighter. And these particles from Boom Library. And those are the electric bunnies.
I love this kind of like heavy low end electric sounds. They are
Uh-huh.
like massage for the ears. I mean, if you work with that for a little bit, you get tired easily, but like it
Yeah.
feels like a massage to the ears. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, like in the head, like it
yeah.
resonates like in the bones. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's why that's the whole thing about the embodied experience. It's like, okay, you feel like you're getting shocked and it's working. Um, but yeah, these sounds, the electric ones, were really hard to do because they're just so loud and so shocking. What else do I have for you? More electric stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, shock. But this is like, I think this one is the one where I didn't use electricity or any synth sounds. I
Ah,
just
okay.
used cheat sounds. Yeah, this is the one where I cheated. These are more electricity, but instead of using the synth sounds, I used all these cheat sounds, which is like tape and then paper, baking paper. more baking paper. Oh, I did use a whoosh, but it's fire, it's not electricity. And I like this fire because it sounds like it's moving. Yeah, and then just a limiter as a plugin, and yeah, a lot of saturation to make it sound bigger and heavier and better.
And there's a couple of things that came into my mind with this sound. That is the first is the fire library sound, like
Uh-huh.
that it has movement.
This one?
Uh, yeah, sometimes it's better to find something that already has the movement that you want to do instead of trying to modify all the sound to make it
This one.
work.
All of these
Yeah,
sounds have some sort of saturation.
yeah,
I just went crazy with it. Decapitator,
yeah.
black box.
And the saturation, the other thing was about saturation, because like saturation is something that is built into our minds, that when it saturates it's louder, so you can trick the brain of like people just by making it more saturated, and it feels like it's louder than it really is, but
hmm
it's like a brain effect, like
hmm
psychoacoustics.
hmm So yeah, all this is like a cheat because none of this is really electricity. It's just paper and fire. And we're tricking you into thinking it's electric. I have one more, which is also electricity. Um, and then these are like, I'm tempted to say rocks with life, like meteor aliens. And they're just like hanging there in the world. They're, you kind of see them as spot. And the cool thing about this one is that a few years ago we went to record a choir of female singers in Vancouver. One of our uh, one of our colleagues, his mom sings in a choir, so we got permission to record them, and it was super cool because we got to tell them what to do, and we asked them to whisper. And obviously I used that with Black Hole to make it sound like it comes from another world. And then I just added all the organic stuff under it. So, yeah. Things like this, like when you rub rocks with your hands, wet stuff. It has all of this is going through Black Hole, so that's why it has like this reverb. And then the rocks, for the rocks I put this one, the orb, the one that makes it sound like it's talking. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of like eating and whispering. And these are the variations for it. And that's my that's my show. I think you're muted if you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It is so awesome to see all the different layers and the way you have to think on all to create these like things that don't really exist in this world.
Thank you.
So
Well,
I
some of them
yeah,
do. I'm kidding.
yeah, sorry,
Some of
some of
them
them,
do.
yeah. So if anyone has any question, I think it's a good opportunity. We have Millie here. We have a lot of people watching at the same time, so we can all answer or just comment about. Have you created SFX for comedy?
Yeah, actually, a game that's very, very funny just launched today. It's called Thank Goodness You're
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Let's share the
And
link.
yeah, and that's completely the opposite of Pacific Drive. It's like quirky and funny, and yeah.
What do you think is the biggest difference? Just using more recording more than synthesis?
Yeah, I mean, for Thank Goodness You're Here, I did a lot of recordings because they had to be very organic and not feel natural. There wasn't any synth sounds in that game. It was all just like basically performing to the animation. So I
Mm,
think that's what makes it funny, that the animations were already funny, but like when you add sound to it, it makes it even more funny, especially if you add like sound that's I don't know, that goes so well with the animation that it just becomes funny.
okay,
You'll have to play the game
that
to
matches. Yeah.
to yeah.
And how do you think those sounds?
How do I think of the comedic sounds?
Yeah, these are questions by Luisa. Luisa Zaramo.
Hola, Lisa. Um, I I just look at the visuals first and think about materials, think about intensities, think about maybe how the character's personality is in the game, um, and obviously what the devs tell you they want, because sometimes they do have very clear ideas of what they want for the sound. And oh, on that note, these sessions that we're showing you of sound design is not just for sound designers; it's also for anyone who makes games, because you can learn how to ask for sound in a game for your game by knowing what we do as sound
Yeah,
designers.
that's the most important. I think a lot of people doesn't even think that there's so many thinking behind creating just a single sound.
Hmm.
Yeah, some sounds are not just like everywhere, just to grab them and put them in the visuals. So it's cool to be able to share all these things that we have to think, and everyone does it so differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very cool. Does anyone has more questions or comments?
Click, click. No.
Click, click.
Click, click.
Okay,
Okay.
those sounds were pretty fun. I don't know which
Thank you.
sounds, but thank you. The sounds that you share, I mean, I guess. Okay, so if that's it, I'm really happy to have you here. We have the Woman Game Jam coming next week from 9 of August, 9, 10, and 11 of August. And I don't know, it's exciting. it's not so easy to be here like talking in English with a Spanish speaker. Because like when I was out of in the back room, sometimes I had the impulse of what I was going to say in Spanish, and
Uh-huh.
then I like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so yeah, it's fun.
I just
uh,
stopped looking at your screen because then I
yeah,
would have just said something in Spanish. At some point, I was like, "What's the word I'm looking for?"
yeah, yeah, and then the how do you say that? Inscriptions, subscriptions.
Hit the
the,
bell
the
and subscribe.
no, the due date to get into the Woman Game Jam is August
Okay.
5, so it's close. We have 4 more days to
Sign up.
like sign up for the Woman Game Jam, and it's really fun to use like something like game development on our game jam to encourage like our partners, our teammates, our friends to show what they got and show what they're doing, and open more spaces for women and non-diverse, like non-binary people, uh, to be able to share and show what they do, and hopefully have more more women around the industry. We need more. We need more, please. The other day, I'm gonna cry in public right now. But the other day, we did a talk in a university, and there was a lot of people that were signed for the talk. Not half of them showed up, and there was just 2 women in the whole thing, and it's a thing organized for Women Game Jam. So yeah, we have to understand how to encourage more women to be part of these different events and the industry and in the community, and yeah, like all the events. There must be some kind of trick or or yeah, I don't know, something that I haven't realized how to do, but we will get it there someday. I'm hopeful.
We're here. We're here to help you reach
Yeah,
that goal.
yeah, let's do it. Luisa said, ¿cómo se piensan las capas de los sonidos? That's like how would you think about
Think about the
creating different
layers.
layers? Yeah,
Um, I think it just starts to happen as I begin to work. As soon as I get the first layer, which is like, for example, the vocal layer of the bunnies, right? The ah! Then I just look. Once I have that, once I have that, then I just go to the next thing that I need, which would be how is the thing moving, right? And what is it made of? So you start to ask yourself those questions about materials and textures and movement, and then you just, if you have a library, you look for those by typing the keywords, and then you would say like heavy metal, thick, or something like that, and then you would get a bunch of those sounds, and then you just listen to them, and the one that feels right is the one that you're gonna try on your session, and then you move to the next one, right? The thinner the details of that metal body, so you look for thinner metal, and you just start adding, and once you're actually in that flow state of creation, things just begin to appear, like not magically, but it just happens. Like you become kind of more involved and you're more attuned to what you're doing. So yeah, things just begin to literally flow.
yeah. I think a good idea is to think, or what you said, like on the different elements that will create the sound in our head. Like, what is this thing? How is this moving? How is this breathing?
Yeah.
How
If
how
you don't really
this?
know what it is, like if you have no idea what it is, you can always ask the devs or your audio director, like, what do you think this is made of? Or
Yeah, What is the
Like,
thing?
I have no idea what this is made of. Tell me.
That's cool. That's why I
But
like making games. It's so
yeah.
weird.
But if nobody knows and they just tell you, whatever you feel like it, then create it on your own. Like say, okay, this thing is made of metal, and I'm gonna go with that. So then you just stick to that for every other thing that looks like that in the game. You'll use the metal layers, right, and just shift them around.
And then you just put a lot of things on top of each other and see what happens. And
Yeah.
start moving them around.
Yeah. And then you just start taking out stuff because then sometimes you just add and add and add a bunch of layers, and then you're like, this just sounds like noise.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
And listening in a loop sometimes helps, but for me, sometimes if I'm listening in a loop and it's been too long, then I start to doubt myself.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop and go to another thing.
yeah. For me, when I'm designing, not all the time, but a lot of times, I will try to finish it as fast as possible, but
Yeah.
not just because of productivity, but because the more I spend on the sound, the more I start like breaking it or or just losing the idea of what I was trying to do. So
Hmm.
yes, I try to work as fast as I can.
Me too.
But everyone is so different that you can hear what we say, but we you don't have to follow the
Hmm.
same. Just explore around how you understand and you hear.
Yeah.
Okay, last call of questions to see if anyone love her work.
Love her work. Gracias. Tan grande, Juan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you, Tan grande jugando.
What's your biggest project?
I can't say.
The one before that one.
The one before that one was Chia.
Yeah, because of the amount of sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, Chia was long because of the amount of cutscenes. It was
Oh,
very
okay.
long. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was Chia so far. There's
Nice.
always like the biggest project, and then there's another one that beats it.
Yeah. Okay, so if nobody has any questions, I'm really happy to have been doing that English thing. We always do it in Spanish because there's not a lot of content in Spanish, but we want to do more stuff together, and we are happy to be collaborating more actively with Sharing the Pit. We, like we as a company are very interested in having more people doing sound and just sharing knowledge and sharing stuff that we do that is so cool and fun.
Yeah, we're
Uh, yeah,
we're into diversifying the industry, so the more the better.
yeah, let's do it together and let's speak in English and in Spanish and in Portuguese
And
and in
Portuguese.
and in
Next
whatever
week
else.
is in Portuguese, right? You and me.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, like we have to break that bridge. We will do it eventually, hopefully.
Okay,
Maybe
I'll
some sons of the sons of the sons. But for now, let's participate on the Woman Game Jam. Let's participate on all this online stuff and in-person stuff. We have in Colombia. We have next week our in-person meetup, pre Woman Game Jam, and we'll have music and we'll have magic and we'll have fun and we'll talk about games probably. And more fun stuff. So yeah, if you're in Bogota, let's go to the meetup. If you're not in Bogota, let's meet more women in the industry and bring your
Oh yeah.
girlfriend
I want
and
to
make
show
her
my
participate.
shirt. Tan
Oh,
grande y
ooh,
jugando.
ooh.
Tan grande y jugando. Thank you for the shirt.
Yeah, and there's an online meetup that will happen as well. So there's no excuse to not meet more new people. So yeah, no, that this is the like 10th goodbye, but yeah, I'm really glad, and we will see in the next occasion, next jam. And thank you again to Tagrandi Jugando and to Asher in the Pit for the efforts on doing this. So thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.